There's no sugarcoating it. Cake is big business.
I think that looks really cool.
The explosion of the baking industry has pushed creative cake making to new, sugary highs.
Vital things that make an extreme cake is pushing your boundaries and challenging yourself to create something out of the ordinary.
Cakepreneurs up and down the country are mixing up ever more elaborate ways to satisfy the nation's sweet tooth.
We can create anything.
As long as it's challenging, bring it on.
But there's more at stake than just sponge.
The client is actually one of my best friends.
You're only as good as the last cake you made.
And there's a potential cake-tastrophe around every corner.
I can't remember the last time I had to stand on a chair to reach the top of the cake.
Today, a cake with over 800 handcrafted sugar flowers.
I do feel slightly up against it.
An attempt to recreate a 3-foot-tall steam train.
I have to be quick because the sugar will dry soon.
And a fairy tale cake that could end in disaster. Welcome to the extraordinary world of extreme cake makers. As the demand grows for ever more complex and lavish cakes, only a select number of extreme bakers have the skill set to rise to the occasion. Someone who specialises in grand structural cakes is 38-year-old Michelle Wibberwoe.
I like to bring together great ideas, big construction, and all things edible.
Michelle graduated as an architect before moving into edible structures 10 years ago.
I love combining design skill with my passion for baking.
But even for this cutting-edge cake maker, Michelle's latest commission has challenging proportions.
I'm doing a giant steam engine train cake. We'll go here. The cake can serve up to 1,300 people, so it's going to be a massive cake.
The giant steam train cake will take pride of place at a huge celebration being organised by volunteers Ruth and Tim.
It's 175 years since the railway came to Haywards Heath.
And between us, we decided the best thing to do would be to have a cake in the shape of that first train.
I think the cake's going to be a central attraction to our planned event, and I'm sure it's going to captivate a lot of interest and on the day.
I just hope it's big enough because everybody wants a piece.
Well, hopefully it will turn out as good as what I had in my head. So, fingers crossed.
Michelle's ambitious steam train cake will take her over 80 hours to complete. Standing over 4 foot high and 6 feet wide, it will be crafted from 12 layers of vanilla sponge and covered in 20 kilos of sugar paste. The wood panelling will be replicated using over 100 sugar paste strips, with the end result weighing a colossal 21 stones.
Obviously, the cake will be so heavy. I have to make sure the structure is strong enough to hold up the cake. If I don't get the structure right, then the whole thing might not work.
Adding to the complications will be spinning wheels.
It works. Isn't it cool?
And puffing steam.
I'm feeling a bit nervous because I've never, ever tried this smoke machine before. Awesome!
With the engineering work complete, the next thing Michelle must do is more traditional, just on a far bigger scale.
So it's just butter and sugar and icing sugar and vanilla flavor. 10 kilograms of buttercream. So after this, I'm going to set up the cake and then carve the cake and then fill it with buttercream icing.
The extraordinary world of an extreme cake maker is full of trials and tribulations in every slice. One baker with a massive task ahead of her is Michelle Wibberwoe, who's replicating a steam train in the form of a 21-stone cake. After mixing up 10 kilos of buttercream, she sandwiches it between 12 layers of vanilla sponge to form the body of the train, which will end up 3 feet high.
So this is like the easiest part, building up the main block. It can only go wrong if you don't have enough cakes.
It will take Michelle 3 hours to build the body of the train before being placed on the wooden framework to be sculpted.
Cake is really, really heavy. It's one of my form of exercises. I don't enjoy carving part. I guess it's really, really messy. And it's, look, but it's just to get the shape right. That's done.
The sponge is sealed with a thin layer of buttercream and must be covered with over 20 kilos of sugar paste.
I have to be quick because the sugar will dry soon, and because of the weight of the icing, it's going to pull it down and it cracked there. It looks more and more like a train now, and one step closer.
Next, the funnel. For this, Michelle wraps black sugar paste around a plastic tube.
Does it look like a train now?
The whole structure is painted in food colouring, which has been mixed with a dash of alcohol.
I like doing this. It's really, really therapeutic. It's like,
To replicate the wooden panelling on the original train, Michelle has made over 100 edible sugar paste strips.
It's really time-consuming because I need to stick it one by one, but the result will be much better than covering all in one and then do the line.
These are hand-painted to achieve a wood grain effect.
I've got some more finishing touches to do, and the wheels on, and then done.
In Bedfordshire, Carisha has finished ganaching her floral-themed wedding cake and begins the difficult task of covering the 5 tiers in sugar paste.
I would say this part is tricky because it could rip or you could get lots of air pockets.
To achieve a shimmery effect, the sugar paste will be sprayed with an edible pearlescent dust.
It adds a little bit of sparkle when the lights are shining on it. Just makes it stand out more. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy with that.
Carisha hopes to wow the bride with a fantastic floral fanfare of 875 edible flowers, each made from flower paste. This will include 10 different varieties, from roses and hydrangeas to orchids and tulips.
So right now I'm just making some hydrangea filler flowers. I'm trying to create this again, so it's like a cluster of flowers together. And then with a wire which has a tiny little hook at the end, I'll just dip that into some edible glue and then thread it through.
Each flower spray takes up to 40 minutes to make and hours to dry, so it's a lengthy job.
I do feel slightly up against it with time today.
But will this majestic floral display be Carisha's downfall?
It will be quite top heavy, so I just need to make sure that the weight is balanced out well and I have the internal structure through holding it upright so I don't have any issues on the day.
And to add to the pressure, her best friend's wedding is in less than 24 hours. It's the event of the year in Haywards Heath. The town is celebrating their 175th anniversary of the opening of their local railway station. And sugar artist Michelle Wibberwoe is on track to deliver the much-anticipated star attraction, a cake replica of the first train to pull into town.
Relief that finally the cake's here, there's no damage. Yeah, I'm so pleased.
Taking more than 80 hours to create, Michelle has faithfully reproduced the Victorian steam train. The 12 layers of vanilla and buttercream sponge is covered in 20 kilos of hand-painted sugar paste and weighs in at a mighty 21 stone. With smoke rising from the chimney and mechanised wheels, has Michelle succeeded in bringing a slice of history to life?
Michelle.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Oh,
The wheel will turn.
they
Then
won't.
like-
Oh, you're joking.
So we're going to pluck it in, and the steam will come out.
Oh, I'm going to cry. I can't believe that one person can do that. She is incredible. And the smoke coming out.
But will the people of Haywards Heath be as chuffed with the taste?
It's delicious. It's really light, isn't it? Really lovely.
This is the most exciting part for me. It's feeling its purpose, isn't it? to be eaten.
Wonderful. Wonderful.